Rest in peace, Gran Torino. You will be missed. What's up? It's Truth Hero, and I'm very cheerful despite the heaviness of this chapter. So, welcome to another My Hero Academia chapter review. This is Boku no Hero Academia chapter 281 of the manga. We'll of course talk about Gran Torino's final stand and the death of our favorite senior citizen hero. The only senior citizen hero, but he'd still be my favorite. We'll also discuss the end of this chapter with the QUIRK bullet and all the possibilities this could have on pretty much any hero. So let's dive in. This chapter starts with a nice flashback to Shigaraki's father hitting him. Sorry, there's nothing nice about that. To be this thing called a hero, to save others, hurts your family, says Shigaraki's dad, and Shigaraki is remembering these words. He couldn't see it as a kid, but he certainly understands them now. It's really tragic to see how Shigaraki, and Shigaraki's dad for that matter, had they just gotten enough love from the right people, or people around them, had they been more attentive to their situation, none of this family tragedy would ever happen. We'll see this more in the Nana flashback, but keep in mind for now, people's lives, especially when they're young, can be so delicate, and what pushes them over the edge, or what crosses the line from hero or normal citizen to villain, can be something so small, yet so disastrous. We then flash over to Aizawa and crew, and they're telling Manuel, please don't let the water out of Aizawa's eyes. We gotta finish this quickly so he can blink. I mean, just let the man blink, guys. Seriously though, this is very impressive for Aizawa to keep his eyes open the entire time while looking at Shigaraki with all the chaos around, and Manuel circulating that water in his eyes so he doesn't get dry eye. That'd be like if right now you, the viewer, just stop blinking. Don't blink until this video is over. Could be a fun challenge, maybe. I don't know. Either way, by the end of reading this chapter, you're gonna have tears in your eyes. Shigaraki has a very important monologue here where he says, the heroes have been pretending to protect society. How many generations have they been pretending to protect people while not seeing their hypocrisy, where they just covered up their wrongdoings and celebrated their minor victories? Also, we see Shigaraki's flashback of him walking as a young child right after the tragedy happened with him and his parents, and him being told as a small child, oh, go to the heroes or go to the police. If you wait, maybe a hero will come. And again, you gotta think, how different would Shigaraki's life have been had a hero intervened or had a police officer happen to see him? Call me crazy, but I'm kind of with Shigaraki here. Hero society, whether you like it or not, has become corrupt. The heroes definitely got lazy when All Might was the symbol of peace because they didn't really have to do anything major. And this idea of heroes being fake or being vain or doing things heroically for the wrong reasons has been a theme since the very beginning. I mean, there's an entire villain, Stain, devoted to trying to mend that idea of a hero. He only recognizes All Might because that's the only hero doing it for selfless reasons. And at this point, when there's children being neglected like Shigaraki, and there's gotta be others, even people that aren't children that are cast out by society because they're villains or they have a weird quirk that makes them undesirable in society, heroes shouldn't be celebrating. They should be doing better. He goes on to say that this has been building up gradually over time in society, and it's just trash. Heroes protecting other trash people that then create more trash. I guess having kids. Kinda lost me there, Shigaraki. But given this, he's not wrong about hero society. What do you guys think about his overall message on heroes, given the fact that his backstory was him wanting to be a hero, and then when he was in crisis, he was ignored by the heroes? Makes sense to me that in this corrupt society, the only option for him is villainy. Let me know down below in the comments, after hearing this, do you now have a little bit of sympathy for Shigaraki? Personally, I don't really have sympathy per se, given what he does at the end of this chapter, but I do have a little bit more understanding of how someone like Shigaraki came to be. I mean, in this corrupt hero society that tries to cover their tracks and then celebrates minor victories with all these heroes that are not acting out of selfless courage. It's only a matter of time where someone is neglected and tossed out and then could rise up to become a villain. Endeavor interrupts this little diatribe against the heroes in society with an attack, saying, "Thanks for the interval from talking. Now that you're dying, just give up." Once again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you want to go pro as a villain, don't monologue. Unless you're Shigaraki. He's like, "You think I'm weak right now?" Endeavor and everyone else cannot believe that Shigaraki can still move right now after taking all this punishment. Whereas people like Endeavor, they're pretty much spent. Gran Torino swoops in and stops Shigaraki from getting to Endeavor and thus him taking any more damage because he's barely hanging on at this point. He also confirms what we kind of already know. Shigaraki is moving in a way that is outside the scope of normal human ability. This guy is synthetic. What do you guys think about this whole synthetic thing? I love it because it shows that Shigaraki has lost his humanity. He's basically more robot or lab experiment than he is man, and it's a great tribute by Horikoshi to one of his favorite works, Star Wars and Darth Vader. The other thing it does well is show just how powerful Shigaraki is without any quirks. People like All For One and Dr. Ujiko could have used strength boosters or speed boosting quirks in manufacturing Shigaraki's body, but as it stands right now, Shigaraki is using no quirks. There's no enhancement, there's no muscle fiber regeneration, there's no, speed, strength, whatever you can think of, because Aizawa is neutralizing those quirks. So maybe his body internally has that ability after this whole experiment, but it really goes to show that Shigaraki, even without quirks, is one of the most powerful villains we've ever seen in the entire series. Gran Torino then comes face to face with Shigaraki and thinks, "What kind of face is this? Oh, Shimura." And we are set up for our third and perhaps saddest flashback in this chapter. Shimura Nana tells Gran Torino that as heroes we must save other people, and for this, just like Shigaraki said, our families do suffer. To me, I don't have children. We then see her giving her son, Shigaraki's dad, to another woman, and in the end of the flashback, Shimura Nana is crying, as any mother would, and Gran Torino comforts her in this decision. I don't know what's sadder, Shimura Nana giving up her own child to be a hero, or her own grandson Shigaraki becoming a horrible twisted villain because of the very fact that she tried to keep her family out of this. It's quite clear in this moment that Gran Torino realizes it was a terrible decision for Nana to abandon her son or leave him with someone else to be a hero, and I think he also regrets supporting her in this decision and not maybe helping her to find a different avenue. As Gran Torino remembers Shimura Nana for the last time, Shigaraki takes him, slams him to the ground after breaking his foot, and then thrusts his hands through his chest, killing him. A moment of silence for Gran Torino. Shigaraki then rushes Aizawa and crew, and believe me, he's fast in this synthetic body of his, but luckily Dragon Hero Ryuku stops him by grabbing him, and then Deku comes from behind, wraps Shigaraki with his black whip, and tells him, "I'll never forgive you." I like how emotional Deku is here. Anyone would be after seeing Gran Torino go down, but with this comes his less analytical book-ready side, and he's very rash. This isn't the first time he's rushed in this fight, and Gran Torino saved him the first time. Now this is the second time he's sort of rushed in without thinking. Endeavor actually tells him not to if you look closely, so I think Deku should be a bit more careful. But I will say, I do like Deku trying to go all out here. So Deku, hold those black whips tight. Shigaraki responds to Deku, really the only way you can. "You'll never forgive me? I can't forgive anyone, and I won't." Then he elbows Deku, causing him to spit up blood, and maybe loosen his restraints a bit. As Endeavor rushes in to attack Shigaraki, he tells Deku, "Keep that black whip tight," and then we see Shigaraki struggle a bit and produce a QUIRK bullet in his hand. and that is what we'll be discussing for the end of this video. One thing to note before we really dive deep into the implications of this quirk nullifying bullet is that it looks like Shigaraki's arm with the bullet actually goes through Ryuku's dragon hand, which, I mean, I guess he could punch through because he just punched through Gran Torino's chest. But I mean, this is a hand we're talking about, and it's a dragon hand, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe you guys have better vision on what the manga panel is actually showing. But regardless, Shigaraki does have this quirk nullifying bullet in his hands, and he's about to use it on someone. We see Eri flashed at the end here walking with some people from UA, so here the implication is that this bullet has the power to rewind someone like what happened with Mirio. Now the first person I want to talk about losing their quirk is Aizawa, because Shigaraki's vision is looking through Ryuku's fingers and his eyes are towards Aizawa, Manuel, and Rocklock. So if he's able to fling this bullet towards them, and he can do incredible things in speed with this body, so maybe he can super flick it at them, it's a possibility that Aizawa will lose his quirk. This is very interesting because then Shigaraki could use all of his quirks and the heroes would be pretty much doomed. Also, Aizawa is kind of Eri's guardian, so without him having this quirk, we could get some more Eri into the story, and maybe she loses control once again, and maybe that's the hero's only hope. The second person would be Endeavor. Now this is obviously interesting because if Endeavor loses his quirk, he can't achieve his dream of being the greatest hero and surpass All Might, but it sets up what Shigaraki was saying: heroes abandon or hurt their families just to save others. So this could be a way where Endeavor loses his quirk to go back to his family because he has nothing else, and this can set up him and Shoto and some forgiveness and redemption arc, and also Dabi coming into play here. And keep in mind that Endeavor is currently running towards Shigaraki, so when he arrives there, all Shigaraki would have to do is stab him with the bullet. It makes sense that he might be looking at Aizawa, but maybe targeting Endeavor. The only other person that could be directly involved here would be Ryuku if Shigaraki takes the bullet and stabs her dragon hand. Only catch is that the bullet with this much of a needle might not be able to pierce her scales, because let's face it, she's strong. She's a strong woman. Other than that, I don't see anyone else really liable in losing their quirk. I don't think Deku's going to lose his quirk because Shigaraki wants to take one for all from him for himself. Anyway, that's what I got. Let me know down below in the comments who's about to get rewound by Eri's quirk. And if this happens, do the heroes still stand a chance? If you guys like My Hero Academia content and these chapter reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by subscribing. And until next time, heroes and villains, plus ultra.